Tenika, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me to talk Spartacus. How
Course. Absolutely.
let me tell let me tell you, when your character came on screen, I think that's when I finally sat up and I was like, all right, things are gonna get a little bit interesting now. She had quite a presence to her. Can you talk to me a little bit about preparing for the role?
Preparing for Achillia, I believe, life and the journey that just life. It's anybody who's ever gone through a difficult circumstance and found the strength and resilience to be able to overcome that, to find their own power, to find anyone who was an underdog. I feel, points in my life I felt like that sci-fi nerd that nobody really understood, and finding that uniqueness and using that as a strength as opposed to a weakness. One thing about Achillia is that she does not play the victim. She is not by any means at all going to apologize for her circumstances and lay down in the dirt and die. So I feel like having that as the foundation of a character allows you really to be able to understand how important she is, and the responsibility that carries as well too. And anyone watching the show, I believe, will identify with that aspect of the journey, because we've always had things, we all have things that have knocked us down where we've been had to find the strength to get back up.
Yeah, and have kind of those naysayers around you, and it's really inspiring, and it's great to see. What is it like for you to? I mean, you go through all this training, you go through this preparation. What is it like for you to see really the full picture and see yourself on the screen as this character? What does that do for you personally?
Okay, that question hit me. Um, as a little girl, I used to watch a lot of sci-fi fantasy, and I remember falling in love with Xena Warrior Princess, and I wanted to be her. She was strong, she was powerful, and I was a little girl who was a little nerdy and awkward and didn't really know where I fit in. So when I pretended to be Xena, I felt strong, I felt powerful, I felt awesome. So playing a character like Achillia feels like a new, modern, fresh version, even though it's a historical world, of that same strong, powerful female archetype. And I feel blessed, I feel privileged, I feel honored to be able to help create that role model for somebody who, like me, needs something to empower them and feel strong with. So hopefully, I'm doing it justice, and that people will feel the journey that she's on and feel as though they can identify with her.
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, from my perspective, you played it wonderfully. Like I said, it was my favorite part of the series. What kind of training? Talk to me a little bit about the training that goes into preparing for things like that. Because man, you're taking bumps, you're taking hits, and I'm sure there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, life definitely trained me for this. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, so it was a scenario where I was put, I started training with my master when I was 14 years old, and I really needed confidence at that time and to find my own strength and power. And so I was be frustrated as heck because I was always fighting with boys in these competitions, and they were all better than I was. And I believe that at first it was frustrating, but then eventually it got to a place where I understood that it made me stronger and that I found my own power and resilience in that. So I believe that type of training really was a precursor and a preparation for Spartacus, because I found myself in that ludus again with a bunch of boys that were strong and confident and had abs of steel, and I had to find a way to be able to move past the frustration I felt about not really knowing what to do in that world and find that strength. But as I practiced, I got better and better. And I will say, having a wolf pack around me of people that I can trust and comfortably go on that journey with, this is outside of shooting, because, on the sands, we hated each other. But my castmates were amazing. Just be able to provide that safety net for me to explore in this character.
Now, was that something that you realized pre auditioning and getting the role, or is that something that you realized as you were progressing in shooting your scenes that it's like, wow, this character I can really relate to this character a lot more than maybe you had foreseen.
Yeah, when we get auditions, there normally is about 2 to 4 pages. So I was like, I had an idea of what her journey would be, but I didn't understand the full context. And I had many of those moments while filming where I realized, wow, my life's journey actually parallels what's going on with this character. And even in the moment, I was discovering things about myself while being in the dirt, while experiencing moments of strength and empowerment, while breaking through certain challenges that were internal and having to find my strength and resilience to move past a past story, you know? So there were many moments, and I feel like she helped grow me as a person, as a woman, as a fighter on all levels.
That's so amazing. I love that about actors that you get the opportunity really to be in other people's skins and then find the relatability and find inspiration for you to continue to grow. It's one of the best things I think about your profession, besides the fact that you get to be on a screen. So yeah, amazing, Tanika. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Like I said, I loved your character, and it means so much to hear how much she meant to you. And now we get to share that with the world.
Thank you so much, Manny. Honestly, I just want people to find their roar. If they want to roar with Achillia, then please do, because I think we all have that moments where we just need to scream and understand that that part of that scream is our power and our breakthrough.
Awesome. Beautifully said. Thanks again. And it was really nice to meet you.
You have a good day.